Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Mike Francesa podcast, part of the Bet Rivers Network. We join you on this Monday morning as we get ready for an historic game 3 this evening at the Garden, and a very unusual situation, obviously, surrounding the game. Um, Obviously, it's the only conversation in town. Uh, the anticipation, the buildup has been enormous. The pressure shifts. There's no question. Um, as Knicks fans, let me first say this, okay? If you are fortunate enough to go to the game, don't worry about that you have to get there early. Don't worry about the security. Don't worry about the fact that the president's there, whether you're a pro Trump or anti Trump guy, who cares? Um, just enjoy the situation. It's a unusual situation, okay? Um, will it inconvenience people tonight? Yes. I remember when Bush was at Yankee Stadium in the World Series against Arizona. Hey, Dog and I didn't get in the stadium that night. We did a remote downtown. I think we did a remote in Rockefeller Center, if I remember right, for that game. And we had to take car service to the stadium. And even though we were going in a different gate, a regular media gate, um, we didn't get in the game until the third inning because the crowds were so backed up. Now, what I would suggest tonight is get there early. I mean, that's the bottom line. Hey, so you have to sit in your seat, you know? Sorry, everybody's not gonna be invited to Suite 2, or to Suite 200 where Dolan throws his parties. There's not enough room, okay? And there's gonna be a lot of celebrities at the game tonight, more than normal. And a lot of them probably got turned down. They don't have enough tickets for everybody, that's for sure. Um this is one of those times where people try to show that they are strong enough to get a ticket, that kind of thing. And they can always buy one, even though the prices are astronomical. 7,000 for game 3. Supposedly right now, 13,000 for get-ins for game 4, because that's obviously assuming history, assuming a clinching game in New York. Now, again, let's see what happens with everything else. Now, numbers. Knicks are 2-point favorites. Puzzling? Yes. Surprising? Yes. Let's be honest. The odds makers have looked at this series, and they're usually very good. They've looked at this series very differently and not given the Knicks enough credit. I thought this line would be higher for game 3. I have to admit, I did. I think it's surprising that it's only 2 points. I think San Antonio has more to prove. Now, they're saying San Antonio is legit. They're saying San Antonio easily could have won, which they could have. They could have won either of the first 2 games, but the question now that begs is, do they have the poise against an experienced and very, very connected and very, very cohesive Knick team that has gotten very used to winning? Do they have the experience to execute? Clearly, that's been a big problem. They were right there, and the Knicks run off the last 10 points of the game and win going away in game 1. In game 2, we know what happened as Wemby misses 2 shots and throws the ball away. There were so many things wrong at the end of that. If I give you from 30 seconds in, I don't wanna pick on their coaching staff. I've done a little of that as it is. But if you take the game from 30 seconds in, that was a nightmare for San Antonio, an absolute nightmare. And there's no other way to put it. But the Knicks won the game. Now, I do think that late run by San Antonio is something I guarantee you, especially Popovich, who talked to the team yesterday, is my understanding. I guarantee you he has banged home that you could have won the first 2 games. You were right there. You put on a 14 zip run. You squeezed them. You challenged them. You pushed them. They were about to break. We made a big mistake. We missed a shot. We missed a couple of shots, we gave them a couple of gifts, and we lose the game. It's about us. He's not trying to make it about the Knicks being good or formidable or historic or anything else. He's still making it about San Antonio because that's how he wants this young team to think. Now, in this game tonight, if you're looking at it from a San Antonio perspective first quarter, San Antonio has been a juggernaut in the first quarter. They were a juggernaut in the first quarter, the entire series against the Thunder. The Thunder only got an advantage in one game of the 7 games in the first quarter, and that was game 5. They won the first quarter by 2 points. Every other game was either tied or a big San Antonio lead. In this series, San Antonio has had 8 and 9-point leads after the first quarter, but they have not sustained them. They've either given them up in the second quarter or the third quarter. Now, the other thing for San Antonio is Wemby's mindset. There's a tremendous amount of pressure on him, whether there's no way to insulate him from that. This is a player through everybody. I mean, if you watched Brown after game 2, he talked about in 2 years, Wemby is going to be this incredible force. And what an iconic player he's going to be. His ability to score on all 3 levels. I don't agree. I don't think he scores well inside yet. I think that's what's lacking. Not putting him in the low box is criminal. Not getting him slides in the low box is criminal. Not getting the ball to him in far better fashion. They are so weak at getting him the ball on the move. It's unbelievable. It's costing them so many points. It's ridiculous. I think game 2 was on the verge of getting out of hand. Game 3 will be called extremely close in the first quarter. I think there will be a lot of foul calls. First of all, it's going to be a very raucous setting with the Knicks fans. The Knicks fans are going to come out. They've been waiting a long time for this. I don't care if they sit there for 2 hours. I don't care if Trump makes them sit there for 3 hours. I don't care what happens. The Knicks fans are going to come out raucous in the beginning of the game. But you can quiet them down if you're San Antonio, if you take a lead. And they have to quiet that crowd because if they get off to a bad start, it's going to be a tough night for them. Wemby's mentality and how he attacks the game, it has to be like he did at the end of the game in game 2. Plus, and this excludes because they got a 6-man starting lineup, okay? San Antonio. Their guards, Fox, a veteran, with speed, who has his speed lacking right now because he played well in game 2, but his speed is still lacking because he's clearly nursing a bit of a ankle injury, and you can tell because he usually is lightning quick. Now, Harper to me for San Antonio is a starter. He plays 30 plus minutes, so he's a starter. Past that, they have no bench. They've gotten nothing from Johnson. They've gotten nothing from Cornette. And I'll tell you something, they were remiss not to give veteran players like Barnes or Olynyk a chance to play in this to try and change the tempo in that game. Utilize a couple of those veteran players because those veteran players sometimes can make a big difference in championship games. They have not done that. They have not been well coached through 2 games. They got to get something off the bench because the Knicks are getting so much off the bench. And the Knicks bench, Shamet, I mean, he just doesn't miss from 3. He comes in, he's played 30 and 33 minutes. You knew he was going to be a big factor in the series. He's been a big one. McBride has made plays. Alvarado has made plays. And give Robinson credit because you know what? He did a terrific job on defense at the end of that game too. On both occasions where Wemby missed the jump shot, Robinson played him. and that's not easy to do. Obviously, on the last play of the game, they put him in a pick and roll with Fox, and it was played as well as you can play it with Robinson. Give Robinson credit for coming off the bench and doing that against a player of that ilk. I didn't love the last play. I didn't love the timing of the last play. I didn't like anything about the last play, but it's water under the bridge. The game's over. San Antonio does not have enough offensive answers, and they are a team that scores basically off individual ability. They don't make great passes to score. They don't have a cohesive offense. They are missing a couple of pieces that they will get, and when they get them, they're gonna be, I mean, even nastier. They need someone to run the floor better than anybody does here, and number 2, they need a power forward. Um, what makes the Knicks so difficult and what has been so amazing during this run is it doesn't matter which Knick you ask to do it, they all do it. Brunson's not gonna shoot well and he's gonna turn the ball over, we can overcome that. Towns is gonna get in foul trouble, we can overcome that. We're gonna ask OG to do this, he does that. We're gonna put Bridges on the floor at the end of the 3rd quarter in a 4-point game with 4 bench players, and he's gonna extend the lead to 9. That went on at the end of the 3rd quarter. He's on the floor with 4 bench players, and they extend the lead from 4 to 9. Bridges has been utterly sensational. OG is such a tough player, both ends of the floor. See, OG's defensive ability and Bridges, and OG's size and strength is underrated. There's very little he can't do defensively. And he'll make threes, and he'll go to the hole, and he'll score when he has to score, and you know what? When they need somebody to score, they score. When they need somebody to come off the bench and hit a shot, they come off the bench and hit a shot. They, as somebody said to me, this whole run, they've gotten the best version of all these players when they need the best version of all these players. And that's remarkable. And let's say this. I understand the way Brunson is loved by this Knick crowd, and no one has a problem with that because he is the foundation of all this. But the best player in this series by far, and Brunson hasn't been number 2, is Towns. Towns' first 2 games have been games that I did not think he had in him. He has lifted his game so much in the playoffs. First, with running the offense through him and showing his playmaking ability and his ability to hit outside shots, his ability to go to the basket, his ability to score inside and out. And now he's added defense and tenacity to his game, which is something which has not always been there. His growth, when you think of this series, think of the things that Knick fans screamed about this year. Oh, Towns, we can't win with Towns and Brunson on the floor together. And Towns is so weak defensively. Oh, really? Bridges is through. Get rid of him. Bench him. We don't need him. We don't want him. Get rid of him. Oh, really? Brown wasn't the answer, coach. He's let this team go this way, that way, this way, that way. You heard that in the spring. Oh, really? Go down the list and think about how good Towns has been, and how good Bridges has been, and how good Brown has been, and how much he has gotten from so many different players. Knicks have answers. I mean, every time they need someone to knock down a three in the playoffs, somebody knocks down a three. Whether it's McBride, whether it's Bridges, whether it's Alvarado, whether it's Towns, whether it's anybody in the starting lineup, they knock down a big shot. They answer every single call. And that's why they have had this incredible run, one of the great runs in the history of the NBA. Now, are the Knicks going to storm to 4 straight games, or did something subtly change in game two? Well, two things are very, very obvious. Number one, the 14-0 run, despite Wemby's colossal mistakes in the final minute of the game, the 14-0 run clearly will give San Antonio as a young group some confidence. Number two, there's no question. The buildup, the anticipation. I hearken back to game 5 in Vancouver with the Vancouver series against the Rangers. Sometimes there's so much pressure to win. And the bottom line is there will be pressure on the Knicks, and it will build dramatically. The Knicks have had things their own way. They've played these series from in front. They've played games from in front. They've played with wide leads. They've played with a swagger and a confidence. The bottom line is they now know that this city, this fan base expects a title. Whether it expects a sweep or not, it expects a title. And with that comes pressure. There's no question. There is now a lot of pressure on the Knicks as they get ready to take the floor tonight. And if San Antonio carries a lead into the fourth quarter of this game, it will really ratchet the pressure up on the Knicks, more so than they have felt in a very long time in this postseason. Now, what I still see is, and this is why I expect the Knicks to win tonight, is I see the Knicks always having an answer. I don't think the Spurs can blow the Knicks out. I especially don't think they can blow them out in the Garden. And in a close game, the Knicks have so many advantages at the end of games in possession by possession. San Antonio comes up the floor and they don't know how they're going to get a good shot. The Knicks expect to get a good shot. And they'll get an offensive rebound and start the whole thing over again. And they'll hit the open man. And then he'll hit the open shot. I mean, that's the way this has gone game after game after game after game. I want to see if Wemby has another level. He might, but let's see if he does. And tonight, there'll be a different feeling in that Garden than there's been. First of all, champion series have different feel anyway. They just do. Been to enough of them. Been to a lot of them. They have a different feel. It's very different. Even if you're someone who goes to the game all the time, you can sense the difference. You can feel the difference. We will be on tonight after the game, as soon as the game ends. I don't care if it ends on a last second shot, a buzzer beater, whatever. We will be on a minute later. These guys are fired up. They'll have it fired up before the game's over. I come right downstairs into my studio, and away we go. I will be ready to go. Now, couple of things. Let me get to a couple of emails, and then remember tonight we'll see you right after the game. Let's see what's on your mind. Send me the emails to Mike Francesa, podcast at gmail.com. Send your emails to Mike Francesa podcast at gmail.com. And if you're wondering, right now, the Knicks are minus 500 to win the series, and you can get 370 with the Spurs. For the Spurs to do something that I believe has never been done, losing the first two games at home and winning the final. I don't think that has ever been done in the NBA. I believe that's the case. Now, Doug, would a Knicks championship put Brunson ahead of Messier on the list of New York greats? First of all, I don't keep a list of New York greats and shuffle players high and low. And, I've heard people say Brunson might be the greatest player ever in New York. Are you serious? Are you serious? Do you guys have any? I mean, do you have a list of who's played in New York? Babe Ruth, Joe DiMaggio, Lou Gehrig, Mickey Mantle, Lawrence Taylor? I don't even want to get to the Knicks. I mean, that's overstating the case. One championship does not get you that in this town. I mean, Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle, Yogi Berra, Lou Gehrig. These guys lived in the World Series. Year after year after year, they won championship after championship after championship. Yogi won 11. DiMaggio, I think, won 9. Either 9 or 10, but I think 9. Mantle won 7. I mean, hey, Lawrence Taylor is in the handful of the greatest players ever to play in the NFL, ever. And won 2 championships. I mean, get a grip. But does that put him ahead of Messier? What Messier came here and did was amazing. I think there's a very much a kinship to Brunson coming here and doing what he would do if they won the championship and what Messier would do. I agree. Now, remember, when Messier came, he'd already had a whole pocket full of championships from another team. Different story. Roger, have you seen enough of Benj and Ewing to think they are legitimate players and long-term solutions for the Mets? I think they're both major league players. I don't think there's any question. You have to really like the way they're playing defense. I know Benj had the 5 for 5 yesterday. He has really picked it up offensively. I think they're both players, yes. I think they both will be regulars. I wouldn't go past regulars yet, but I'll give you that they are regulars. I think they're everyday players. I don't think they're bench players. I think they're everyday players. Flip, has Mike Brown gotten enough credit for the Knick run? No, and that will come. Mike Brown's credit will come. The guy that no one talks about, though, I mean, Leon Rose. There's the guy. You don't hear a lot about Leon Rose. If I could sit down and interview one guy, and I know he stays very much in the background, I would love to sit down when this is over and interview Leon Rose. I mean, I understand who else is there. I understand the role players underneath, but Leon's in charge. And the what he's done, the moves he's made, utterly remarkable. He's the unsung hero in this whole thing. Mike, is Cody Bellinger underappreciated for his consistency? He's incredibly consistent. First of all, he's a tremendous outfielder. Secondly, he really hangs in with runners on base against left-handed pitching. And obviously, he's made for Yankee Stadium. Yankee Stadium is the perfect park for him. I really like Bellinger as a player, but I think the Yankee fan very much appreciates Bellinger. I don't think he's underrated. I really don't. I don't think that he doesn't get enough credit or anything like that. I think the Yankee fan first of all, the Yankee fan is pretty astute. Secondly, the Yankee fan, uh, knows what he has in Bellinger. They wanted Bellinger back. They know the role he plays. Um, he's a very, very good baseball player. Is he a great baseball player? No. He's a very, very good, classy, two-way baseball player. He's a pro's pro is what he is. And I think he's, um, very much, very much, uh, appreciated. Now, I'll tell you the guy I'll give you the guy that I think for the Yankees is underappreciated, okay? And that's Grisham. Nobody wanted Grisham back, okay? The one thing about Grisham, he catches the ball in the outfield. He makes good catches. He makes every routine catch, and he makes the good catch. Guy's got 33 RBIs and 35 runs scored already. He's got 8 home runs. I understand he's only batting 220. You know what? He's underappreciated. He does a lot more for this team than people think, and people didn't want him back. They really didn't want him back. You know what? He does a very good job. He had an incredible year last year. He had more clutch home runs last year than just about anybody in the major leagues. I know last year was a freak year. Nobody's expecting him to turn around and hit 34 home runs again, but he's already got 11 doubles, 8 homers, and 33 RBIs this year. All right? That's a good year. Those are good numbers. On this team, those are good numbers. That's all there is to it. You know, that's just the way it is. It's he to me doesn't get enough credit and I understand you can pitch to him. I understand he's, you know, not going to put up crazy numbers again, but when you talk about the fact that, Judge has got 38 RBIs and Grisham's got 33 and Bell just got 38 runs scored and Grisham has 35. This guy's doing and he plays defense. I mean, he's doing his job. He's doing his job. He's putting up numbers. He gets big hits. Now, obviously, Rice has had an incredible first half. I mean, Rice is having an MVP type season. I mean, he could if he continues along this path, he could be, with Judge out. If the Yankees have a good finish and he puts up, 35 to 40 home runs and 100 RBIs, 110 RBIs, and has an OPS over 1,000, He's going to be a very serious MVP candidate. He's become a terrific hitter, a dynamic hitter. He really has. But I don't think Bellinger's underappreciated. I do think Grisham's underappreciated. I really do. Now, as we said tonight, I know it's a big night. I know it's a big night in the city. Whatever level you are going to enjoy this on, if you're going out and about, if you're going to be home, whatever, you know what? Just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Or if you're fortunate enough to be in the building, enjoy that too. Because it's a once in a lifetime experience. It really is. We'll see you right after the game.